Okay, so we've got the Kenwood KR-9600 flipped upside down, and I've got the amplifier boards desoldered from those TA-200W amplifier output packs, or IC packs, which are mounted right there. There's the pins for them, for that one. And here's the other side, right here. So we're going to measure across the pins so we can test them and see if we can find a problem. So I've got my ohm meter here set for ohms reading. And if I can do this and film at the same time. So if you measure across, you get 0.1 ohms, which is a dead short, 0 ohms. So we're going to test between pins 1 and 5 and 10. So that's your rail voltages on the outside, and then pin 5 is the output. So there's pin 5, and here's pin 1. We've got 3.9 meg, so that's probably okay. Between pin 10 here and 5. Ooh, 288 ohms. So that's a low resistance reading. I wouldn't expect that, so that might be a problem on this channel. Let's move over to the other side. And test these guys. So in 1 and 5, we've got looks like nothing on this side. And pin 5 and 10. Ooh. 1.7 ohms, so that's like a dead short. So I'm suspecting both amplifier modules are damaged, which is not great. As I mentioned, the originals aren't available. There's actually a couple, at least 2 or 3, kind of aftermarket solutions that are a modification to the circuit. One is more of a kind of a drop-in power pack hybrid board that somebody designed, and then the other option is a full amplifier and preamp new board amp module that you pop in. So I'm going to find out from the guys on the forums what they suggest will give the best power output and distortion results, as well as reliability, of course. So stay tuned. I think this one's going to be worth saving. I might just fix that regulator board right now, just so I can make sure I've got everything else working, so I don't just keep going around and finding new things one after another with this thing. But we know it needs amplifier boards or chips. We know it needs that tuner to be restrung and to have those regulator transistors replaced. So let's start with that. I'll be back once we get that part done. I believe in our last portion of the video, we determined that our amplifier ICs were damaged, as well as there was some missing regulator transistors on the regulator board on the other side. So I went ahead and disconnected the amp boards here and here so we could isolate that part of the circuit from the bad chips. And then I replaced the missing transistors with some suitable equivalents, and we still had a power supply problem at that point. No relay engagement, and we had some missing voltages, primarily the 30 volt line. I'm sorry, the 67 volt line here on pin 30 was missing. So it comes right off of this transistor, which is, this is the replacement. The original is right here. It's a 2SA, hopefully that shows up, 2SA-809. It was open. We also checked the rest of the transistors in this area, and actually the whole board while I was at it, and found a shorted QK 5 and 6 here and here. And those were 2SA-733s, which we replaced with KSA-733s. Checked the rest of this circuit. The caps are actually measuring good in the circuit, so I'm going to leave them for now and decide if we're going to do a full recap. But we're trying to just track down the numerous problems this receiver has one by one, and we're going to go from there. So now we can fire it up. I have it hooked up to the I have the preamp out, RCA going to another external amp and speaker. So we're not hearing the Kenwood's amp, but you did hear that the relay engages. Our power supply voltages are correct now. Now I can actually, it needs to be serviced. But anyway, I have sound on both channels with a little bit of wiggling. You can hear they're cutting it out. Okay. My volume is working. My tuner, I can manually tune that tuning capacitor here, and it tunes. I'll turn that down. The signal meter appears to work. The bulb's burned out on the tuner centering. The tuning centering is a little bit off, so it probably needs some adjustment, but it does seem to do things as I tune, so that's good. So you can see there's lamps burnt out throughout the display, but hey, at least we're making some progress. Now we're down to basically what's our solution for this obsolete amplifier IC problem. And upon reviewing some audio forums, I found there is a couple solutions. One involves a new replacement circuit board that takes the place of these two chips. And then another option is you swap out the entire amp board with a new modern amplifier. So I'm going to look at what the best option is for this one. Either one is either going to be a lot of money in parts for the hybrid IC chip option, or it's going to be a lot of modification for the other option. And then we still have the rest of the work to get this thing up and running. But hey, I think it's worth saving. I think I'm going to probably, like I said, take a little bit of a bath on this one in terms of profitability, but I just can't see it not getting fixed at this point. You know, there's a solution, so let's see if we can tackle it. Stay tuned. I'll show you what's next. Thanks for joining me.